Hello, everybody. Andrew Blake from the digitalaudiomanual.com. Today, let's talk about the orchestral template of Cubase 14. With every version of Cubase that we get, typically we get some templates, and in previous versions of Cubase, most of the templates have not caught my attention. But in Cubase 14, when you go to the hub, if you go over to the category that says Production, you have some kind of interesting options here in the first place, and one of them now says the Symphonic Orchestra. And it tells us if we open this up, that it's an orchestral production template for Iconica Sketch. And Iconica Sketch is kind of new, so this Symphonic Orchestra template is also kind of new. If we click on this and open it up, then we get the project that we're looking at here, and it starts right off with a notepad, and it's worth your while. Take some time to read all this, see what they've put into designing this template. But also a good takeaway here is a quick reminder how you can use the notepad, put important notes in your project in general, and when you close that, you can always find that again by going to Project and then coming down to Notepad. But if we look at this template, we can see that it's divided into different colors with different tracks. And those different tracks are categorized into the string section, the woodwinds, a brass section, and then a percussion section. And if we open up any particular track, let's go to this violin track. You can see they didn't do anything with the channel strip, which is good. But every channel has been routed to a reverence reverb, which is a pretty convenient option. If we open up that reverence, you can see they use the English Chapel for their preset. And every track from every subsection, for example, these string tracks, are going to a string group that's in the group folder. All the woodwind tracks are going to their own woodwind group, and the same with the brass and the same with the percussion. So a lot of work has been put into this already to try to get you up and running. Another thing they've added, if we actually open up an event on a track, they've also already imported all the key switches for every track. What that allows you to do is quickly change your articulations. With orchestral instruments, you have legato or the staccato or various things like that. And then you can just click down in this articulation area, change those. So again, a real time saver. Each instrument is tied into the modulation wheel. Makes it very easy to create expressive parts. Of course, when you land on a track, you're going to want to make sure you turn the modulation wheel up or you might not hear the track. And it's fun to just experiment through the different sounds. The harp. And you can just go through all of these. Bassoon. Some of these sounds are designed as a solo instrument. For example, if I hit this horn, that's a solo horn. But if I go to this track, I get the whole horn section. In fact, if we look at the instrument, if I go back to this first horn, open it up, you can see in Hallian that it says horn, singular. But if we go to the next track and open that up, now it says horns, plural. Lets you know, and it shows you a picture of more than one horn over here. So all in all, a lot of work's been done to help you get up and running creating some kind of orchestral music. Now, all templates, even the best of them, are typically nothing more than a great starting point. At their best, they get rid of a lot of the busy work that you're going to do over and over again, but there's probably going to be some kind of customization. There definitely would be for me before I can actually make some music in this. So let's change some of those things. I always work from a chord track, and right now there's no chord track in this template. So the first thing I would do is right-click and go down to Add a Chord Track. Might as well put some chords in here so we can build something in a minute. If I navigate over to my chord pads, I have some chord pad presets. I'm going to choose this harmonized scale one that I've created. Right now it's in the key of C. Once it's loaded in, I come up to this drop-down and change the key. I'm going to move it from C to E. Another thing I need for this template to be functional for me, I'm going to add a piano track in here, right-click and add the track. I'm going to choose the Grand, which is part of Steinberg's Absolute 3 collection. Open that track up. I'm going to choose this closed Model D piano. Then when I hit these chord pads, I get that piano sound. Another thing for most of the orchestral mock-ups that I do, the tempo is not at 120. I'm going to spin that back to 114. And as I make these changes to my template, I could then go over at any time to File and come down to Save as Template. And at that point, I could give it a name and make it my own template for future projects. So let's go ahead and build a few things and see what our options are and what kind of sounds we can get out of this. All right, first things first, let's get some chords going. I'm going to go down to my chord pads, hit the step input, hit the C sharp minor, A, E, and the B chord. Turn off my step input. For now, I'll get rid of this lower zone. Then I'm going to go to the piano track, create a MIDI event, open it up in the key editor, Go over to the scale assistant, tell it to use the chord track, set the mode to using chords, and I'm going to check this option to snap the live input and snap the pitch editing. Turn on my step input to change the quantize to 16th notes. Then I'm simply going to pluck out a pattern to fill 4 bars over these chords. And then I'll play the part, see what I have. I'm going to go up here and change the colors of my notes. Right now it's on velocity. I'm going to change it to pitch. The next thing I need to do for this piano is get some sustain pedal going. I'm going to change my controller lane to the sustain, choose my pencil tool, and draw some controller data. I'm going to make sure that the type of controller is set for step. And when I draw the controller data up high like this, it has the sustain on all the time, which is great. But I need it to turn off at the beginning of every bar so it doesn't just become a blur of notes. So I can draw low at the beginning and then right back up high again. And I can continue doing that at the beginning of each bar, the next bar, and do that. Mimicking using the sustain pedal, turning it on and off. And that gives me this effect. Which is exactly what I want. All right, so let's copy these 4 measures over. And let's get some string sounds going, see what we have available in that area. One thing you may see me do throughout this tutorial is making one track visible as I work on it. There's an option up here in the track visibility that says show the selected tracks or hide the selected tracks. So that's what I'm using when I change things like that. I'm going to add a MIDI track in here, and then I'm going to copy my chords onto this MIDI track, and then I'm going to explode the chords. And if you're one of the 5 people left on the internet that hasn't seen how I do this yet, be sure to watch the video on Explode the Chords in the digital audio manual. Now I'm going to take those individual lines from the chords and drag those into the strings. And when you have all the tracks selected like this, you can hold Alt and Shift and then change a parameter, and it will change every one of the parameters. I'm going to adjust the pre-gain on these 4 tracks till I get the level I want. Just like that. And while they're all selected, I'm going to hit record. I'm going to move my modulation wheel so I can add a little bit of expression realism to the strings. All right, let's duplicate that section. Let's see what we can get from the woodwind section. I'm going to take a part that I already have from the violin. I'm going to copy that down into the oboe track. Once we bring a part down like this, you can experiment by moving it onto different tracks. Here's how it sounds as an oboe. That's pretty cinematic. Let's see what it sounds like as a flute. Just drag it up to the flute track. I think I like the flute. We'll go with that for now. And then another nice thing we can do with this, if I open it back up in the key editor, we really haven't messed with any articulations yet. But with the Scale Assistant tab, if I make sure this says chords and the snap pitch editing, what's really nice here is I can select these notes, and if I use my up arrow, I can experiment with different chord voicings. In other words, Cubase is smart enough that it doesn't just raise the notes, it raises the notes and changes them to the correct voicings of the chords. So you can kind of mess around and find an area where the flute's going to cut through. Let's try a few of these and I'll move the voicings around. Aw, come on, that sounds great. Say what you will about Cubase, it has some very smart little options that are built with a musical solution in mind. All right, let's copy these 4 bars over, and let's see what kind of sounds we can add in here. On this section, I think I want to look at some of the percussion options. So let's go down into that area. If I select this very first track, it says percussion, and then I start going up through some of the sounds. There's just a huge array of different kinds of orchestral percussion, even a gong. One of the sounds is this rolling snare. Let's see if we can fit that in and see what it sounds like. Play through it and kind of experiment. I'm going to duplicate this track. because I like to have all my percussion on its own track. If I use some other percussion later, I don't want to work too hard at changing the volume. So I'll call this track the snare drum. I think on this last 4 bars, I want some kind of staccato cello building up. So again, I'm going to go up to the cello track. I'm going to duplicate that. I'm going to remove all the current events on that. Here's where we can use some of these articulations. I'm going to come down and draw in a cello staccato. That covers the whole event. I'm going to step enter some chords. I want these on quarter notes, so I'm going to change that quantize, turn on the step input, make sure that snap to pitch editing is on, and then I'm just going to play some chords, and it'll go through every quarter note. I'll just stop on the last beat of that one. All right, I'm going to copy those 4 bars over. Let's bring in some instruments from the brass section. We haven't used those yet. I'm going to take events from my strings, and then drag those down into the brass. Gives us something like this. Now let's get some of our first ostinato strings going. I'm going to select all of my string tracks, and then I'm going to duplicate those. While they're selected, I can move them down. And I'm going to remove all the events on those tracks. Might as well give these a slightly different color as well. Starting with the viola, I'm going to create an event. I want to make use of the staccato articulation, so I'm going to draw that in. To change this note resolution to an 8th note, again, make sure that snap to pitch is on. Turn on the step edit. I may have to experiment a few times to find what I want, but I'm going to play some 8th notes. See, I don't like those already. I want them a little bit higher, so I'm going to undo that. It's okay. Maybe we can do better. I'm going to erase all those, try some different notes. Great feature that Cubase has. If I want to change some of these velocity controllers, I can select the notes, and it puts this gray area over all the velocities. Then I can drag those all down at one time. And then if we play that, we have this. It's working out really good. So I'm just going to play through this and move the arrows up and down until I hear something I like. At this point, I'm going to add a little bit of live playing in here to turn the quantize off, and I'm going to go down to the cello with my modulation wheel to try to capture a little bit of live cello playing here. And then I'm going to do the same thing with the low bass. All right, let's repeat this again. And let's bring in our high ostinato strings. I'm going to go down to the parts that we just created, remove those. Let's start with the viola again, add our staccato articulation. This time, instead of 8th notes, let's bump the resolution up to 16th notes. I'll experiment with a few pitches. And then we end up with this for the viola. As we've done before, let's copy that up to the violin too. Draw in the staccato articulation. You can select all those notes, move them around with the arrow again. And after we move them around with the arrow, we get this kind of spread in all the different sounds. And the last thing I want to add in for now, some extra percussion. If we go to the timpani channel, back in the percussion section, open that up. We can either use an articulation of hitting a timpani, or we can change it to making a roll. Let's put some of those rolls in some of these transition points. Put one there, put one here as the strings build up. And let's put one at the very end. Draw the articulation in for the timpanis. And then after this first roll, I'm going to add some timpani hits. Something like this. And here's where these built-in effects help. I'm going to turn up reverence quite a bit, bring the volume down, and that really adds a lot for this timpani. And the only other thing to add in to kind of polish this off, we have these cymbals on the percussion track. If I play a few of those, we get this. So let's see what we've created. And as you're listening to this, think about some of the things you can create as you put some of these tips and different skills to work. See you next time. All right, it's going to wrap it up for today. As always, if you haven't already, click the link in the description of this video to learn how you can get access to the all-new Digital Audio Manual Preferred. It's the clear, step-by-step solution showing you not only the tips, but all the secret and typically never talked about features that'll take you to a higher level of using your software. If you've been searching for an all-in-one solution to take you from start to finish and learning Cubase and Wavelab and other music software, this is exactly what you've been looking for. So click on the link in the description and come and be part of the clear path to a better learning experience. So today we had a look at the orchestral template in Cubase. We opened it up, read some of the notes, and then we began learning how we can customize that template, making use of everything it has, but also making it our own. We started by creating chords. We talked about how to do step input on the piano with a sustain pedal. We added a string section, added some woodwinds, various solo string instruments like the cello. Then we got into the ostinato strings and finished off with the timpani and the crash. As we continue to explore all our different creative options and the tools that we have available to us, as always, it's great to have you guys here, and I'll see you on the next video.